What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. I am your host, Trevor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Niners Chiefs didn't go the way we wanted to. And like I said earlier, guys, don't get upset if we lose this game. Clearly, we are outgunned and outmanned at this point. Lots of people are injured, and we're only getting more injuries, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, okay? So listen, basically, we lose the game 18-28, I believe is what it was. Yes, 18-28, and we were never really in this game after the first quarter. First off, I want to give some news updates. Brandon Ayuk, number one wide receiver, $30 million contract, hasn't done much this whole year, and he's not going to because now he is injured, and we're thinking it might be an ACL tear, which is season ending. So how much worse can it get for the 49ers? I don't know. After signing another kicker and then the kicker dislocating his shoulder and having another kicker come in, we're on our third kicker. We've got Brandon Ayuk out. We've got Christian McCaffrey out. We've got Deebo Samuels banged up. We have got Mason banged up, although he was able to play today. This team is absolutely snake bitten from the day the season started, and it is not ending. Everybody's getting injured. Everybody's getting hurt. Kyle Shanahan has got the most piss-poor play calling that you could possibly imagine. He came into this game unprepared. Again, it's like he's not even trying this year. He's giving up his job. If I wasn't knowing any better, I would say it's rigged. I don't understand why Kyle Shanahan's his play calling is ridiculous. I do like that he stayed with the attack as far as the run game goes, but not quite enough. And Brock Purdy had a bad game today. He threw 3 interceptions today. So, guys, he wasn't very good today. He did run in and score a couple of touchdowns. He kept the team somewhat in it towards the end, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. And Brock Purdy's performance today was not good. I think playing the Chiefs in the levity of the game maybe got to him a little bit, but he's already played in massive games, so it's hard to really say that that is the case. I do not like the play calling. I do not like the penalties. The defense stuck up today. They did a good job. They held the team strong throughout 4 quarters. I cannot complain about the defense except for one thing. Patrick Mahomes had all day to eat a lunch, grab the football, throw it to the receiver, and still walk around the field without being touched. I mean, nobody touched him. Our defensive line is abysmal. Nick Bosa is not what you guys think he is. I'm sorry. I've been watching him the last few games. I am convinced this guy is mailing it in or whatever. He doesn't have the talent that I think he's perpetuating that he has or proposing that he has, that the NFL is saying. When you say the name Nick Bosa, all of a sudden it means that he's a top-tier player because his last name is Bosa. Well, that's not the case right now, guys. He's not rushing the passer. He's not doing his job very well. He's not beating his opponent, his opposite opponent at any moment in time. He's not getting around. He's not quick enough. He's not getting to the quarterback. He's not doing anything to disrupt the pass game at all. I'm just saying Nick Bosa is not what we thought he was. He's falling off a cliff. The whole defensive line is not very good, and he is a part of it. He is not the exception. He is absolutely the rule. He is a part of everybody that sucks on that defensive line. Cannot get pressure to the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes had an easy 10 seconds, and that is a lot of time for a quarterback to decide to throw the ball. Maybe more if he needed to, but he didn't need to because it's Patrick Mahomes, guys. So this team is pissing me off in a lot of ways. One, they did not address the defensive line in the offseason at all, and they clearly needed to because there's no depth there. Okay, the offensive line, which I thought was going to be a problem, is actually doing okay. Although today they did get their lunch handed to them. They didn't give Purdy a lot of time to throw the ball, but Purdy made a lot of massive mistakes today. As a matter of fact, I'd say this is probably Purdy's worst game that I've ever seen him play. It really is. I don't expect this to continue with him, but this was the worst game. He was throwing the ball in some very unpurdy-like ways. He hit the back of his own defensive lineman's helmet when he was throwing the ball for a pass. I've never seen him do that before. I cannot say that he's spooked. I almost want to say there's something going on with him, but not from a mental state, maybe a physical state. I mean, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't surprise me if he was hurt as well. I mean, this team is getting hurt at every single turn. Every single turn, guys. I'm sorry, but the Niners are just going to have to do a complete 180 to show me that they are going to be playoff ready or even make the playoffs, guys. Right now, there are so many people hurt. And listen, Ayuk getting hurt and being out for the season is honestly not that big of a hit because he wasn't doing anything in the first place. He was barely making an impact. But when you have Debo out, when you have Christian McCaffrey out, when you have Mason playing injured, he's still playing, and he actually ran pretty hard for somebody who had a shoulder issue. And I'm sure as this goes on, next week he'll get better. But guys, we are depleted. We are depleted, and the game is not going to get any easier for the Niners this year. It's just, this is what you see, by the way. And the NFL is a roller coaster, right? So this is what you see with teams that have been to the top and are starting to decline for a little while. This team is starting to be on the decline. There's other issues, though. This coach continues to get out-coached and continues to run those same vanilla crap offensive plays that he's been doing this whole entire year, which is not like Shanahan. I've never seen him not have more complicated schemes coming out of the backfield, not using Debo in the backfield more. He barely used him today because he came down with an illness. So then Debo was sick. I mean, guys, this team, unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like our year. All right. It's really, really too bad. But part of it is not on the team. Part of it is on Kyle Shanahan. And I've been watching this for years, and I'm just getting so freaking tired of watching him coach the way he coaches. He is the smartest dumb coach I've ever seen, or the dumbest smart coach I have ever seen. Either way you want to say it, the guy is too smart for his own good. It's like he's trying to out-coach himself, and in the turn, he ends up losing the game sometimes. And now it's becoming more and more prevalent that this guy, he's getting out-coached, guys. Is it his time to go? I don't know. Because I don't know who you replace him with that would be better. I don't think there's too many options that would be better, but there are some fundamental facts about football that he is just not adhering to. Why, when you're in the red zone, do you throw the ball when it's 2nd and 1? And then when you don't complete that pass, it's 3rd and 1, you run it, you don't get it, and now you're screwed, right? So why would you not just run it twice to get that extra yard in case you don't get it the first time? I mean, these are plays that I've been seeing since the 80s. So you're on the 1-yard line since the 80s, the 90s, how football has been played. You are 3rd and 1. It's a quarterback keeper up the middle for a first down, and you're going to get that 9 times out of 10. It's just the common play that you call. Why don't I see this in the NFL anymore? I really don't know. I don't understand it, but that is the go-to play. And guess what? They did that twice today, and it worked. Go figure. That is a play that's been working since the beginning of football time. Why we're not seeing that now, I don't know, guys. It's frustrating as all hell. So you hand the ball off, you run it 3rd and 1, you don't get it. Now you're kicking a field goal. What is this crap? What is this play calling? I don't understand. Did he not know that it was 2nd down and 1? I don't get it. And because the play calling that he made when he did call that play, 2nd and 1, the pass play that he called was not a slant. It wasn't an out pass maybe to Debo or to Kittle, just a short little out pass to the sideline and let him run for a yard or two. No, it was some absolutely ridiculous play where Purdy ended up throwing the ball within a few seconds of hiking it to somebody that wasn't even really in the general area. And it was a waste of a down in the red zone. Again, the Niners red zone woes continue. It's an absolute dumpster fire, garbage, bull crap way to play football. And I'm not a coach. I'm not a professional. But when I'm looking at it on TV, I can see that the play that should be called is a run play up the middle or a quarterback keeper up the middle twice, 3 times if you have to at that point. Because based on my opinion, which may or may not matter much, When you do a quarterback sneak up the middle, you're going to get a half a yard even if you don't get the full yard and first down. So you do it again because you are going to be able to make that push. It's just going to happen 9 times out of 10. And why you don't do that regularly, I don't get the play calling. This game is not entirely on Shanahan, but as usual, it's partially on Shanahan. Some of the time it's always on him. I mean, there's 2 games they should have won. That they should have won the Rams game, but they abandoned the run. That would be one more win. Now, I'm not mad that they lost to the Chiefs. I'm mad at the fashion they lost. In the fashion that they lost, okay? I am not a guy who's going to get on the podcast and start talking about losing and I hate my team because they lost. It's not a matter of losing. It's a matter of how you lost the game. Could you have won that game? Could you have done things differently? Yes. Brandon Ayuk getting hurt is actually not that big of a loss because he was mailing it in, guys. He was becoming a diva from the moment the contract came into question, right? He didn't show up to training camp. He got his $30 million contract. Then he complained like an absolute child because he showed up to practice in the non-uniform attire and then sat there and complained about how he had to change and look like everybody else on the field. Well, let me tell you something, guys. In any sport, you're supposed to wear what everybody on your team wears. That is what a team is. That is what unity is. That is what brings you together. You are not allowed to be different than everybody else on your team. You are allowed to be a teammate and play as a teammate, not somebody different who's above you. You may be a better player, but you win as a team, you lose as a team. And I don't know what happened to Ayuk because he was not like that. He used to be a hard worker, head down, kept his mouth shut, and then all of a sudden, he thought he was hotter than anybody else. Well, guess what? So far, he hasn't done a damn thing. And today, when he was in, Brock Purdy dropped a pass right between his hands, and he dropped it, and it was an easy catch and go for a touchdown. But he blew it, and that's not the first time that he's blown it. This guy needs to get his crap together, and unfortunately, now he's got time to. He's going to have a year. Sorry. He's going to have a full year to figure it out, guys. So Brandon Ayuk, gone for probably a full year. Maybe not a full year, but definitely till next season, minimum. Okay? Brock Purdy had a bad day, but he doesn't have many of those. So how can I get on Brock Purdy for having a bad day? I just can't. He rushed 8 times for 27 yards. He ran the ball into the end zone twice for 2 touchdowns. He went 31, let's see. How many yards? 6.8 yards, 31 attempts. That's not right, but I don't know why the numbers look like that. I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. But anyway, he did not do well passing today. Did not do well. I can give him a pass because this is the first game I've seen him really basically mail it in. I wouldn't even call it mail it in. He had a bad day. Bad day today. So, okay, it happened. Receiving, Mason, 2 targets for 2 yards. Let's see. What did he do rushing? Rushing, he was 14 rushes for 58 yards. Not very good. But again, they didn't really... He should be rushing 25 yards a game or 25 attempts a game, which would get him around 78 to 100 yards probably if they continued with it. Because we all know that the Chiefs break down against the run towards the end of the game. I don't know why Shanahan doesn't know it. He hasn't figured it out yet. I don't get it. I mean, that's why I'm aggravated. I'm not aggravated about the loss. We're not on the Chiefs level this year. We have lots of injuries. There's lots of reasons to say we lost the game, right? But the fashion that we lost it is not acceptable. Kyle Shanahan continues to make piss-poor play calls that cost the 49ers games, positions in the standing, and possibly playoffs. Thank God we're in a division that's not very good. We're sitting at first place. I mean, I don't know if the Seahawks have won. I have to go and look and see what the Seahawks score was, if they won or not. I didn't see. But the bottom line is that right now we're looking at a team who will maybe get first place anyway because that's how bad our division is. The Rams are beat up. The Cardinals are not good. Seahawks are okay. And we are teetering on being crappy because we cannot get any of our players on the field healthy. So now we have Brandon Ayuk hurt, we have Juwan Jennings hurt, and no number one wide receivers. Our wide receiver core is depleted now, gone. Now we're basically hoping Jennings comes back sometime soon. I don't know what his injury is going to be. If he comes back next week, great, because Jennings was having a breakout year anyway. So he comes back next week, I'm going to feel a lot better, Jennings and Debo. And then you have your running game. We desperately need CMC back, but let's just face it. Again, guys, mark my words. Christian McCaffrey flew to Germany because this is an injury that is serious. This is an injury that's going to put him out a full year when he gets back on the field and starts running hard. The Achilles is going to pop, okay? Brace yourself for that, Niners fans. The Achilles is going to pop at some point soon. It's a matter of how far he gets before it does, because you do not fly to Germany to see the most decorated Achilles doctor in the world unless you got something serious going on that the American doctors here at Stanford, who is just down the street, can't figure out on their own. He's looking for a Hail Mary, a miracle. That's why he's going to Germany. So let me tell you guys, do not be surprised in the least if at some point this year when he comes back, the Achilles pops and he's out for a year. And the sooner that happens, the better, to be honest, because then he gets into surgery and he gets done. You don't want him out another full year. But we're on the decline now, guys. We're on the decline in the coaching coaching area. Shanahan is not coaching like he should. Sorensen is not a good defensive coach, although the defense showed up today. It's getting better. The defense is getting better. But the offense, for the first time this year, didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Usually it's the other way around. But right now the offense is depleted. And why aren't you going to Kittle more? Kittle can run through 3 guys before he is stopped and brought down. Why are we not targeting Kittle religiously at this point? Kittle and Mason, guys. Kittle and Mason. It's like Kittle and Bits. Kibble and Bits. Kibble and Bits. Kibble and Bits. Kittle and Mason. Kittle and Mason. Kittle and Mason. Kittle and Mason. Throw some Debo in there. Get some Debo in. Kittle and Mason. Kittle and Mason. All day long. And score touchdowns. What is this? What is it? They're your best players on the your toughest players on the team. Now, of course, today Debo was sick. You're gonna get Debo in there, but right now, you got to lean on those guys who are just your workhorses. It doesn't make sense, guys. So, I mean, I'm angry, but I also am not surprised. I'm not shocked by another injury. If Purdy got injured this year, it would not blow my mind because that would just be icing on the cake at this point. He's the only one left that doesn't have an injury. So, please, God, don't let that happen. But it wouldn't surprise me, guys. This is just an absolute dumpster fire of a season of injuries and horrible coaching and horrible play calling. And what else can you say? That's it. It's not on the players. It's on the coaching for the most part. The players are getting hurt. What is going on in San Francisco with injuries every year? This is by far the worst year. But what is going on with the injuries every single year to somebody? Is it the training staff? Who is it? Are they not getting ready soon enough? What is it? What is it, guys? But they need to figure it out. I'm sorry to be coming at this podcast and giving bad news about the loss and how I feel about how it could have gone. Ricky Parcell looked okay. First game, can't expect a lot out of him. So Isaac Orindo barely got in. I think he got in for 1 play, 2 plays, something like that. Kyle Juszczyk didn't get seen at all. And I keep saying, use Juszczyk. Juszczyk is another bruiser. You could give him the ball and let him pump down the field and knock some people down. I mean, these are just like obvious go-to players at this point. But anyway, I digress. Not a great game, guys. Let's talk more on Friday before the next game. This is my post-game analysis. We're in trouble. We're not going to win a lot of games this year. I think that the low-hanging fruit, we're going to win those games. But when it comes to the Lions, I'm not too worried necessarily. I mean, the Cowboys is a winnable game because they're in trouble as well. But going to the Super Bowl and playing these guys again, we don't need to get our hopes up for that, guys. It's so far, there is no no world where I see that happening right now until we get back to full strength. And I mean, we got Ayuk out for the year now. Maybe Christian McCaffrey comes back, and if Christian McCaffrey does come back, I still believe that Achilles is going to pop within 2 or 3 games, and he's going to be out for another year. So, guys, this is not going anywhere good. It's really not. We're getting close to what you would call a rebuild. We're getting real close to that. Real close. They need to make a trade for somebody on that defensive line to help out if they want to go anywhere. The offense will kind of figure itself out a little bit, but that defensive line is not getting figured out without a new guy on that line. You need somebody to come in to help out. Crosby's there, possibly. I don't know if the Raiders are serious about trading Crosby, but I'd be making phone calls right away. And I would trade. There's a lot that I would trade for Crosby. So if Crosby, if we can get Crosby from the Raiders, that would be a shot in the arm for the defense. Let's see what happens. Corners aren't covering guys very well either, by the way. Corners are not covering anybody very well. Mahomes was able to throw to anybody and everybody he wanted, and by the way, they were wide open. I mean, there was nobody around most of those wide receivers. Special teams was horrible. Again, they didn't let anybody run the ball back for a touchdown, but damn it, if they tried, it was close. It's a couple times where somebody looked like they were going to break loose and get a touchdown. Frustrating, guys. Frustrating game. So, and again, not because they lost, but in the fashion they lost. The play calling was absolutely atrocious again. I am getting to the point where I can't stand Kyle Shanahan. I just don't know who you replace him with that would be better, but maybe you got to try and see who's out there after this year, because he's losing the locker room. It's clear the players are starting to give up. You see that fourth quarter? They were still down by, I think, 8 before they scored a touchdown. They scored a touchdown and didn't get the 2-point conversion, and then it was over. But they started to hang their heads a little bit before that. I'm telling you guys out there, he's losing the locker room. If they go through a couple more games like this, do not be surprised if he loses the locker room for the year. And then it'll all be about, do you keep him or what? But Kyle Shanahan, yeah, I don't know how much more he's got. I mean, he may have a good credit, obviously, with everything he's done so far with the Niners. So maybe he does get another year. But I'll say, if it continues on this path the rest of the year, I think he should be on the hot seat. Definitely think he should be. I think he should be now. But that's just my opinion. The play calling has been atrocious. But let's talk more. I'll see you back here on Friday for the 49er preview before the next game. And we're going to be talking more Warriors very soon. Warriors open up on Wednesday, so let's talk a little bit Warriors after the Warriors game on Wednesday, opening against the Trailblazers. That's exciting. They look like they're going to be better this year than last year, which is a good thing. And if Draymond doesn't get suspended, we're looking at a playoff team for sure. I think everybody should be very excited about where the Warriors are going to be going this year. If you don't know, take a watch. Take a look on Wednesday when they play and see what you think. They've got a deep bench, and I think things look good for the Warriors. But for the Niners, might not be their year, guys. But we'll keep watching, and we'll keep reporting, and anything's possible. Anything can turn around, guys. But when you have both your top wide receivers out, one out for the year almost for sure, and then Jennings, I don't know when he's coming back. That's tough. That's tough, guys. That's really hard. So we need one of those guys back, and it's not going to be Brandon Ayuk. We need Jennings back next week. So we need Christian McCaffrey back ASAP. We need Debo to be out there and not sick and not injured. When all that happens, we'll be a little bit better off. But at the end of the day, the coaches cannot get out-coached, out-schemed. Kyle Shanahan has to get his play calling under control. Time management, clock management, game management is not good. So we'll see, guys. Keep your heads up. Let's go, Niner fans. Of course, we have our up years and down years, and we're always fans no matter what. Bang, bang, Niner game. Let's get it next week. Maybe we'll get a get right game. And remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work, guys. I'll see you in the next one.